In a world where science, consciousness, and reality itself are being redefined, a new wave of thinkers is emerging at the edge of human understanding. Today, we step into that frontier with Danny Goler, a pioneering researcher, technologist, and consciousness explorer whose work bridges advanced physics, psychedelic research, and the hidden architecture of reality. Danny is the founder of Code of Reality, an evolving research initiative dedicated to decoding the underlying structure of existence, exploring how consciousness interacts with matter, frequency, and information itself. His work investigates the intersection of DMT, light based technologies, and simulation theory, pushing the boundaries of what we understand about perception, dimensionality, and the nature of reality. He is also the creator of the groundbreaking documentary The Discovery, a film that explores profound encounters with non ordinary states of consciousness and the possibility that reality may be far more intelligent, interconnected, and responsive than we've been taught. Featured across global media and underground research communities alike, Danny's work has sparked both curiosity and controversy, inviting us to question what is real and what lies beyond the limits of human perception. In this conversation, recorded live at the Conscious Life Expo in Los Angeles, we dive deep into his latest research, the evolution of the Code of Reality project, and the emerging technologies that may reshape our understanding of consciousness itself. This interview explores the fabric of existence, and what you're about to hear may change the way you see reality. Let's begin.
And we have started an initiative in a nonprofit called Code of Reality, in which we investigate the intersection between consciousness, physics, and computation. We call it cognitive physics, which essentially is just the attempt to understand the world from a mainstream scientific perspective without eliminating the observer from the picture. So, like, how do we include the observer in the ideation and the understanding of the world, essentially?
So how do you include the observer into the ideation?
It's very challenging. One of the things that the laser allows us to do, because you are in an altered state, so at least currently, the only way to see anything in the laser, the way that we're saying, is to be in that altered state. We need to trust our own intuition just a little bit more, not to an infinite degree, but we have to allow some of that back into the real scientific framework.
Absolutely. And how does DMT correlate with your research?
So it seems that currently you have to be in an altered state to see this thing. DMT is one of the best ways to do it. We even found recently that it even works with 5-MeO DMT, which is different to anybody who doesn't know. Regular DMT, it's very visual in the way that it presents itself. It's very, very realistic. 5-MeO feels more, there's not a lot of visual that comes with it. It's more like a feeling in the body. It's very somatic. It's more like like a feeling of divinity. You more like dissolve into nothingness. And yet, if you have enough of your scruples intact, you can see the code super clearly on it. And we know it works with other tryptamines, works with mushrooms, it works with ayahuasca. Somebody reported this with LSD, I think. So slowly we're collecting more and more data, but it's just that currently DMT is the easiest tool because it's very short acting. It lasts for about 5 to 10 minutes. So there's no like hours of commitment that you have to allocate to it, and it makes it super clear and sharp, and you can actually report it in real time. I had this idea that maybe there's a way to communicate through light somehow because light seems to be universal in many ways, even from a very mainstream physics perspective. And then I thought about quantum computers and how they work, because we essentially, well, depending what physicists you ask, but some physicists would absolutely tell you that what we're essentially doing is using lateral computation across the multiple worlds. That's literally what we're doing. That's why you can calculate so much at once, because you have parallel worlds that are doing the same thing with you at the same time, and we're sharing computation essentially. And this is not as wild of an idea as people think. This is like mainstream physicists who think that's what's happening. So then I thought, look, when I started thinking in that direction, it became all of a sudden clear that I'm really looking at something here. And it took a few more years. Like I said, it's a very long and tedious story. But then eventually it led me to this idea that somehow lasers, coherent light, is supposed to help us see something. So eventually the answer, or at least a portion of the answer, seemed to be pretty simple. You just project the deflected light at the surface while you're under the influence, and you can see something. But that something is repeatable across individuals. You can compare notes. We even took a frozen image of it now that we put into Apple Vision Pro, and you can really study it now. So now we're at this very interesting inflection point where all of a sudden it allowed itself to be known in even a deeper way. So now we can start having at least a rudimentary conversation with mainstream science, while not forgetting that the observer, the whatever we are as a being, plays an enormous role in what kind of things we will even find.
Wow.
Yeah, so the movie is basically following kind of like my, the way I came to the discovery and what it now unfolded into. Directed by the incredible Aaron Bendon. He's just a master of his craft, and our amazing producer Chris Paris was very involved in every single step of the way. I'm also now the kind of part of the same, actuation and project that my partner David Carter entered the picture, and we have, like, the reason I'm mentioning these people is because they're the kind of the core group, included in the documentary and everything else that we're doing with Code of Reality. Wow. Paul Hynek was now our new CFO. So it seems that as the movie documenting what's happening, the story also writes itself. It's almost like bakes itself into the movie in a very meta way. Like the movie kind of just progresses with exactly what's unfolding. It's not like we had an original thesis. The thesis writes itself as we go. And hopefully the movie will be out this year. It's called The Discovery.
Oh, wow.
We think it will make a splash. But
oh, I'm sure of it. And congratulations, that's a big feat.
Thank you.
Is there any other projects that you're excited about?
Yeah, the one that I'm focused on the most is the Code of Reality Initiative, and it's basically an actual nonprofit that we've created. We're now going to be building a research center in Colorado, and we're going to be doing this officially.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So the new website is going to be out soon, just codeofreality.org. And the idea there is to basically understand the most about this intersection between consciousness, what physics is, and what role computation plays in it. What humans do is very novel to the universe. There's no chairs anywhere else in the universe. Think about that for a second. Now humans have this like tendency of like, well, we got to be humble. It's like, yeah, but there's literally no chairs anywhere else in the universe. Do you understand that? That's crazy, right? The other thing that really kind of got me one time, I read this in the book The Beginning of Infinity by David Deutsch. He said the only two places in the universe, as far as we know, that have fusion is cores of stars and human labs.
Oh, wow.
Where the proper knowledge how to do so exists. And the coldest place in the universe, as far as we know, is in the human fridge.
Oh,
because
wow.
the even intergalactic space doesn't get that cold. So here's instances of things that literally exist nowhere else in the universe, as far as we know, because humans are doing something. So even if you believe just from a physicalist perspective, you have to admit that what humans do, if it grows, if that ability grows and expands into the universe, it will become the dominant force in the universe.
Absolutely.
Knowledge, like what knowledge can be. And in that sense, what we are and how we are will literally determine the fate of the galaxy. How I greet you in the morning, how I feel in the presence of other humans, translates to what the galaxy is going to look like in 3 million years from now. Because it's going to determine how I'm going to raise my kids, which will determine how they raise their kids, which will give rise to all the future generations and their attitudes towards existence. And this is, for me, the connection. What's in here becomes everything out there. So we have the responsibility to create the most beautiful and harmonious inner world so we can have the most harmonious and beautiful outer world.
Thank you so much for that beautiful message.
And if they want to find all my stuff, it's just DannyGoler.com. DANNYGOLER.com. Oh, and final place is just my YouTube channel, which is Dango Thoughts. DANGO Thoughts.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Danny.
Thank you, Ericos.